It's a battle of heavyweights in USL League One as One Knoxville plays host to North Carolina FC at Regal Soccer Stadium, the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, hosting today's contest. Jack Edwards here in the broadcast booth for ESPN Plus for what promises to be a great contest. Let's take a look at the standings and get some insight onto where we stand as things are. Charlotte Independence won their match 3-0 against Union Omaha, so they lead the league by 3 points here. North Carolina FC will need to win by 3 goals here today to try and retake the summit of the league after here today. But the man who's to make it tough for them, for One Knoxville, Jake Keegan leads the team with 5 goals, has 27 historically in his 11th season professionally. He's been an exceptional, experienced leader for this One Knoxville team in their first year in USL League One. And nobody else on the team has more than 1 goal. He's been able to shoulder the goal-scoring brunt almost by himself, but it will definitely be a focus of concern for North Carolina. They've got some lethal attackers on their side as well. Olex Anderson, 4 goals, 3 assists on the season so far. You're going to see a nice tap in here to get the lone goal in their defeat against Charlotte Independence. But he's got 2 goals in his last 2 contests. They'll hope that the 2 weeks off haven't slowed his hot goal-scoring form. Been an electric signing for them, an electric player for them here as the leading scorers in USL League One. Going to be a fantastic one here in Knoxville. The first ever contest between One Knoxville and North Carolina. Number 2, number 3 in the league. The scene is set. Lineups and kickoff in just a moment on ESPN Plus.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Turned over, Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising.
Number 2, number 3 in the league. The scene is set. Lineups and kickoff in just a moment on ESPN Plus. The players are taking the field. It's USL League One Soccer presented by KUB
Are you
Fiber.
ready?
Number 2 and number 3 in the league. Should be a fantastic contest. I think some starting lineups. Starting off with the hosts, One Knoxville. A few changes from head coach Mark McKeever to look at. It's going to be fascinating with how they try and lay these 11 guys out on the field. We'll be able to see it right here. Potentially a switch to a back 5. Coming out is Sebastian Andreasen. In is Danny Fernandez and Derek Waldeck. Waldeck at the left back spot. But we're going to probably see a back 5 of some variation, a return to a tactic from earlier in the year. We'll have to watch in these opening moments of the match to see how it falls out. Obviously, the man up front, Jake Keegan, losing a forward in support, but he's got 5 goals, as we mentioned in the open. Should be definitely a lethal scorer. On the flip side, the visitors, they were number 1 entering today. They'll want to reclaim their spot. They'll hope that this 11 can do just that. A few small changes for them. The big one to note, Rafa Mensingen. He's back into the 11. The number 14 on the left wing has 6 goals on the year, good for number 2 in the entire league. They'll hope that he can continue that hot goal-scoring form. And obviously up front, Olex Anderson, who's already surpassed his goal tally from last year for North Carolina. Out on the pitch, now we see our referee crew out here today. It's going to be a fantastic one as we see the two teams beginning to break out onto the field. Let's get ourselves our injury report brought by University Orthopedic Surgeons. No reported injuries for North Carolina. The main one out, McDowell. He will not be able to feature for Knoxville here in today's contest. Some small injuries throughout the team that may limit some impacts for some players. Head coach Mark McKeever saying in the midweek he was prioritizing keeping guys healthy for the long term and didn't want to rush anybody too soon back into play. But these are the first time these two teams are ever playing, and one Knoxville, they feel great with where they're at. Number 3 in the standings right now. No expansion team at week 11 in their first season has ever been higher than where one Knoxville sit currently. But they're going to have a very tough test. North Carolina, with 16 goals on the year so far, have been a dominant force in today's contest. But obviously Mark McKeever making some switches to the back 5, may try and deal with the speed and the lethal threat of the front 4 that we may potentially see here today from North Carolina FC. The referee crew, Michael O'Reilly, Zach Gaydar, Bryson Condry, and Amin Hadzik are going to be the 4 make it and comprise today's contest. Kick is off. We are underway. And when Knoxville begins possession with a long ball forward to get things underway. A low header and the ball slides out wide to the right. Goes out of play for a throw-in early here for one Knoxville there in their all-blue jerseys, heading from right to left. Across your screen from left to right will be North Carolina. The lofted pass forward. Across into the box. Doesn't find anybody's pointed forward. It'll be the first goal kick of the contest. First time saying Nicholas Holliday's name. He'll put the ball down to take the goal kick, the 17-year-old in his second season of playing matches here for North Carolina. Coming out of the academy, been a fantastic product there. Flicked down by Keegan. Offering an option, receives it, turns, has it tackled off of him. One back by Arriaga. And Mensingen back into the 11. They'll hope he gets back into the goals here today. Keegan with some pressure there up top. Forces the turnover from Flores Blanco. Touchdown, passed off. Keegan playing more of a quarterbacking role up front. Ball into the box. Cleared away with a left-footed hoof out of play. Lofted back forward. And touchdown now here on the left wing. See Keller Rosales dropping a bit deeper to help in that midfield. But you do see the back 3 progressing there with some wing backs higher up. Here is one of them on the wide side. Linehouse, left-footed pass. Doesn't find anybody. It rolls out of play for another goal kick here for North Carolina. But it has been a heavy possession spell for Knoxville to open things up in the first 2 minutes of today's contest. North Carolina lost their last match against Charlotte Independence, 2-1 in that derby. You see Olex Anderson running onto that one, uses his speed to get to it first. Their first foray into the attacking third ends quite quickly. And a long clearance by Sean Lewis resets it into the other end of the pitch. Bit of a cagey open. Stepping forward is Flores Blanco. Mensingen had a lot of opponent up against him. He will draw the foul. We'll take it a bit deeper and get ourselves back underway quickly. Low pass, finds Perez. Clips one, wants the overlapping run. He will get there first. Pokes it past the defender. Ball into the box, headed clear. It'll be the first corner of the contest. Angelo Kelly had to track back from midfield to deal with the header there. We'll see another one as the ball's lofted in. A diving header clears out the Chris Young cross. And we have our first corner action. Going over to take it is Luis Perez. 4 goals, 1 assist on the year. But he's going to go short with this one. Perez into the box. Headed clear. Mensingen likes to push onto that right foot. He'll do just that. The low shot takes a deflection right into the arms of Sean Lewis. Our first shot on target. It's Rafa Mensingen. And If you were putting bets on that, pretty easy one to make. Leads the league in shots by 6 entering today's contest. We see that one skip into the grateful arms of Sean Lewis that it didn't take a more awkward deflection coming through the crowd. Both teams tweaking things slightly from their last match. The back 3, back 5, depending on if you're in and out of possession for one Knoxville returns. The front 4, more or less, returns as well. They wanted him to come back. Navarro did. But Holiday didn't come off his line. He had to do some control with the ball in the air, and that one's lofted forward for a clearance. Headed out of plays. Heading forward was Jalen Chrysler, the right center back in that back 3. That comprises Jordan Skelton and Danny Fernandez, one of the players who returned to the 11 today. Derek Waldick missed last match due to family reasons, and he returns back for this home contest here today. Olex Anderson backing in to his defender, and he turns him with a nice move on the outside. And Olex Anderson has teammates in support and driving at the defense. Onto the left foot. What a tackle. Deals with that one. He wanted the ball to be going his way in the throw-in, but Jordan Skelton will have to settle with just a very nice tackle, knocking it out for a throw. We'll see it again here as he was one-on-one with Anderson, and a risky one to slide in for that, but he got all the ball. Was able to clear out a play. Flores Blanco looking at his options, tosses it in, but it's cleared by Vanderplau. Pass was a bit weak. Perez got a toe to it, but not enough to win possession back for his side. Keegan unable to corral possession. Lofted forward. The two teams, neither of them able to assert much dominance in possession early on. Kelly keeps that in play. May have wanted a foul there. Very combative player in the midfield, the 30-year-old Honduran. It's the joint most yellow cards in League One, but that's because he puts himself into a lot of challenges. Here's Mensingen, though, on the attack for North Carolina. Isolated one-on-one, plays it to Olex, the 2 leading scorers there. The left-footed shot, it's blocked. May have set it up for Arriaga. He left a foot in there, and a foul will be called. Will relieve the pressure. 4-1 Knoxville. They'll have a free kick on the edge of the area. Early on, not much happening. We'll see how I look at this foul here. As we're trying to create something on the edge of the box, but leaving it in was Arriaga. Just a step slow on the clearance from Kelly Rosales. Sean Lewis to take the kick from the edge of his area. 31-year-old keeper. A lot of experience in the USL Championship. Translating that in their first professional season here in Knoxville. Some nice control on the outside by Eric Linehouse. Kelly's pass was a little soft. Olex plays it to Perez. He holds off 2 defenders, but it's won by the 3rd. Young plays it to Navarro. After an opening few minutes in possession, one Knoxville have kind of fallen back more into a bit of a defensive structure. And North Carolina have begun to assert a bit more possession on the road. Tough to get points on the road. Both of these teams know just how difficult that task is from last time out. That one tackled out of play, waiting for an indication from the referee. Chance to go deflection. And it's going to be headed Knoxville's way from right to left. Fernandez looking at his options for the throw. Tosses it down the line to Keegan. That one's knocked out of play, and it'll be a throw-in now given to North Carolina. Cervania's going to leave the ball for his teammate Young to take. Our referee Michael O'Reilly saying maybe take it a bit quicker next time. Perez touches it down. The pass inside. Cervania tries to turn Kelly. But the support defense was there, and they win the ball off of him. Now a chance to break potentially. The pass trying to find Keegan in the channel is no good, and it goes out of play for the throw-in on this near side. Fans filing in here at Regal Soccer Stadium, the campus of Tennessee, University of Tennessee. bounced up and hit the hand from North Carolina. And a bit of a slow whistle, but it will be given as a handball on that near side. The ball kind of magnetized to this end of the pitch. And go long with this one over the top. Running onto it is Keegan. It bounces, hits the hand of a defender. Keegan collects, passes it off. An opportunity with an empty net. He slides as he shoots it, and it's going to fall into the grateful hands of Holiday. It may have hit the elbow of Navarro as he was running backwards. He didn't know much about it, and Keegan nearly pounced on that. And let's get another look at this here. The ball over the top, it bounces, and it hits his hand on the edge of the box. It sat up nicely for Keegan, so he wouldn't have complained, obviously, if it went in the back of the net, but the referee let it go. A bit of a crazy sequence right there for North Carolina. Kelly puts his foot into the back of Cervania and he commits a foul. That was definitely the best chance of the match, though, so far. As getting onto it was Johnson, I believe. And he had a chance if he was able to navigate it through some opponents, but he had 3 players creating a mini wall in front of the goal. The 6'4" Navarro and the 5'9" Keegan, not an aerial advantage, but maybe running into balls over the top will be an area that they'll want to probe further. One Knoxville as North Carolina continues to advance their territory with another throw in, this time further up the pitch. The 26-year-old Young slowly walking up the pitch, just advancing more territory. Couldn't get in the right wavelength with Olex Anderson. They still have the ball, though. A shot from distance. Bounces, and a diving save from Lewis drawn into action there. Not sure if it would have snuck inside the post, but he took no risks there and tips it wide of the post. Gives up another corner. But lining up from distance was Flores Blanco. Takes a bounce and a diving save from Lewis. Got down quick enough to get in front of it. Another look at this one here. That one looks like it's going in if Lewis isn't there to intervene, but for the home fans, they'll be thankful that he did just that. Short corner again. Perez gets it. He has Mensingen with him. Gives it to him. He's 1-1 with Kelly. Puts it between them. Tries to run past. Kelly will try and shepherd it out of play, and he'll do just that for a goal kick. 3 shots now for North Carolina after that effort from Flores Blanco. The left back started 9 matches this year. Hasn't got a goal yet on the season. Hasn't got a goal in 3 seasons with North Carolina. Would have been quite a time to get his first one. Just past 10 minutes into the contest. Possession more or less split, 52% for North Carolina. Marginal difference there. The header attempt. There's one there. A duel on the far side. Keegan, though, is going to collect. Drives it. Low ball into the box. It's too strong, but it will be collected potentially at the back post if he can chase it down. Waldeck got a toe to it, but it rolled out of play nonetheless. Throw in now for North Carolina, but they'll be pressed high up the pitch by Knoxville. Touched down. Long ball forward. Trying to break things out. Anderson, nice header there. He's looking for a foul from the referee. Nothing will be given, though. Fernandez with it on the left side. Kelly, nice pass to Keegan. He wants to spread the play. He's got Eric Linehouse out wide. Driving at the defender. The right-footed shot takes a deflection. Goes into the trees behind the goal. And it'll be the first corner kick of the match for one Knoxville. Jake Keegan played as a front 2 with Sebastian Andreasen in their last match. A 1-1 draw with Lexington. This time round, they brought off the forward for a defender. He's doing a good job still linking the play as a one-man band up front. He's obviously got 5 goals on the years we've mentioned so far. No one else on Knoxville has more than 1. Those goals have been spread out from 6 other guys. North Carolina, on the other hand, got goals concentrated in a few guys. Perez with 4, Mensingen with 6, Anderson with 4 as well. The bulk of their goals coming from those 3 guys. The ball into the box. The header up high. Vander Plama is going to challenge it. Takes another looping bounce upwards. Not fully cleared and dealt with, but on the second attempt, Maldonado will deal with it, and it'll clear it back to Sean Lewis, who will come off his line to sweep things up. A pair of teams who have never played before, the first ever matchup between these two sides. One Knoxville have a lot of firsts this year, their first year in USL League One. The long ball out wide. Finds Waldeck. Left-footed ball into the box. Diving header just off. The crowd knew how close Kelly came to trying to knock that one home. We'll get a look at it here as you see Waldeck surveying his options. The left-footed ball into the box. Just couldn't pick out his teammate. Driving up in the midfield now. Maybe Villalobos, who was the man who actually attacked that one. He's in the press right there. A physical duel right there. And went out of play before it was kicked off of Young. So it'll stay with North Carolina. Keegan pressing Navarro. Passes it off before he can get to it. The extra man has a bit of space in the midfield. The pass over the top. It's going to go on to Cervania. Kicks it off of Kelly. And they'll get a throw in deep inside the Knoxville half. 15 minutes into this one. Both teams probing, feeling each other out. A solid opportunity for Callum Johnson after a ball over the top. Perez passes it over. They're raising their hands for offsides. The flag will be raised for offside. Young didn't check his run after the pass from Perez. Perez is making his case to the linesman on the near side. It's falling on deaf ears. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sports.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. The ball will be taken for a free kick here after a foul committed by one Knoxville. It'll be Navarro to take it. Navarro, line-breaking pass, kicked off of Kelly, and it'll be a throw-in to be taken by Young as he makes his way over to it. The two teams not throwing everything forward just yet, as makes sense. Anderson, nice turn. Can't get past Vanderploum. A thumping tackle by Navarro comes in. Holds his hands on his head because he went in just too strong on Keegan. Knocked him over and the foul was committed. We'll get another look at it here as this one comes in. Keegan just gets his body in front of it. Navarro pointed at the ball, but the referee pointed for a free kick. A loose touch. Mensingen was pressing, but a nice move chops it back. Kelly plays it to a teammate, gets it, can turn, and slides it back for Chrysler. Skelton in the heart of the defense, and Fernandez is the left center back. Right-footed pass, fired into his teammate. Waldeck, his pass is only going to find Arriaga. Young, under some press, kicks it off an opponent for another throw-in. Play dominated on this right-hand side. Holiday will wave off his teammates and collect it. 17-year-old keeper had a crazy moment earlier in the match. Coming off his line, the ball hit Navarro's hand. Could have been called for a handball. Instead, Knoxville had the best opportunity of the game. That was blocked on the goal line. Driving forward. Pass, Mensingen. He's one-on-one with the defender. They like these situations. Pushes it into the box. Mensingen goes down. They're claiming for something. All they'll get is a goal kick. Big risk taken there on the far side by Eric Linehouse. Definitely touched Mensingen last. They were hoping, though, for a penalty instead. It looks like Jan-Erik Linehouse definitely took the brunt of that challenge, sliding on that one. His teammate touching the shoulder. His teammate touching his shoulder. I think it's going to be a shoulder issue for Jan-Erik Leinhaus. The 26-year-old German coming off of his first professional assist last time out in their 1-1 draw. Had a strong performance overall. It looks like his left shoulder is bothering him in some capacity. Getting a look at the slide tackle in there. Just seems to come up a little slow after that one. Holding his left arm, left shoulder area, and he's continuing to hold that walking off the pitch. They'll hope that he can maintain his role in the match. If not, they have to tweak some things with the right wing back. May need to come off. 19 minutes gone in this one. Been interesting so far. Neither team with a golden opportunity. One Knoxville with the best small opportunity after a bit of chaos. But both teams have a chance to get a breather and assess things. You imagine Mark McKeever for one Knoxville and John Bradford for North Carolina dictating instructions to their players. But we have seen some formation tweaks from both teams. One Knoxville returned to the back five that they've used earlier this season. But that is reliant on personnel being available. Some injuries and personal absences meant that they had to tweak things to a back four. And we'll see if a potential substitution of Jan-Erik Leinhaus will fall under that situation of needing to be another tweak of formation back to the back four. And with the back five, you've already seen they've been able to isolate one-on-ones with the North Carolina forwards with enough support around them to come in if they try and make a move. So we haven't seen Anderson or Mensingen or Perez really able to isolate anybody too effectively. But that is reliant on the system continuing as it is. Pair of trainers working on Jan-Erik Leinhaus. Definitely trying to work him back up into being ready for the match. They are going to proceed, though, I believe, with 10 players. As Lewis is going to take it after about 2 minutes of a brief pause in the contest. High looping header. Sits up. It's Keegan. Defended by 2 players. A strong challenge coming in there. Referee going to play advantage. And the pass is going to lead on Young, and he's got some options forward. Thought about a pass to Anderson, decided not to. Perez also eyeing a long pass. Opts to go into the feet of Anderson. Here is Mensingen. Mensingen gets it back. Has Navarro with his hands up. Navarro gets it. Center back has space to range into. Obviously down to 10 players right now. He's one Knoxville. Villalobos is playing in the right wing back role until they likely make a substitution to switch things around. The pass. Making on a teammate. Pokes it out for a throw-in. Concede possession, but just for a throw. And now it will be a time for a substitution. It's going to be Matthew Vowinkle coming on for Jan-Erik Leinhaus. Vowinkle, a forward, coming on now. So definitely a tweak of formation. We're turning back to maybe a 4-4-1-1 we saw last time. Some variation of 4 midfielders and a pair of forwards. So Keegan has an extra man up front, but now maybe an opportunity for North Carolina to attack a bit more aggressively, considering that they haven't had a chance to prepare themselves for the back four in today's contest. The throw-in from Kelly. Headed out of play by Arriaga. They're able to get themselves out of a deep position in their defense, but they're back to 11v11. The substitution of Vowinkle on now for Leinhaus, who went out with a shoulder injury. The pass intercepted, though, by Maldonado. A strong tackle wins it off again. Long ball over the top. Running onto it is Keegan. They're going to ask way too much of him. That's going to roll out for a throw-in deep in the half of North Carolina. They have found some joy, though, trying to play those long passes over the top as they get a sprint race between Keegan and Navarro. last touch by North Carolina. One back by one Knoxville in the box, or in the touchline, I should say. A long throw. Picks out Keegan. Vominkle's first actions. Trying to press that one, but the ball is cleared forward. Back and forth here. Mensing gets his head to it. It's headed down. Arriaga runs onto it. Bumped in the back. No foul given. One back well by one Knoxville. That one rolled out of play. It's going to be a throw in at the halfway line. A cagey first 25 minutes. Neither team really able to settle into the match too well. A change of formation for one Knoxville is definitely not going to make that any easier for them. And North Carolina have grown their possession to about 57% in the contest here today, but haven't been able to generate a clear-cut chance just yet. Long throw. Trying to pick out Perez. Perez's pass blocked, cleared forward. And running back to pass it back to Holiday potentially, and left for Holiday, excuse me, by Fernandez. On the far side, Flores Blanco carrying it forward. Gives to Mensingen. He's going to offer an overlap. Mensingen going to drive in. Thought about a shot. Passes it off. Here's Perez. Another pass. Nice stretch into the pitch. Cross into the box. Touchdown. Mensingen's shot is blocked. Head in his hands. That's a decent opportunity for him, but couldn't get it through a wall of defenders. Keegan runs onto it. Keeps it in play, but Maldonado will get to it first. Keegan falls to the ground. Perez thought about a pass forward. Chips it over the top. Anderson running onto it. He'll get to it. Cuts it back to Young. Perez. Low pass. Flores Blanco shot from here before. Gives it to Mensingen. He'll shoot. The right-footed shot. Oh, that was just wide. Lewis was diving. He may have been beat if it was on target, but that one's just off. Here's the earlier half volley that just couldn't catch perfectly. It was cleared forward to Keegan, but a chaotic sequence there. I think it's going to be the Mensingen opportunity here. Right-footed shot, just wide. It hits the boards behind the goal. Cross into the box on a corner. It took a deflection on the way in. Arriaga wins it back. Mensingen, again in that left wing position. Drives against Vominkle. The ball into the box. Just past his teammate. Nearly picked out a player in the box for his first assist on the year, but Mensingen not quite able to link it up there, but he's definitely growing in confidence in the match. Didn't start last time out. There was no injury issues, no selection issues. Just wanted to try McLaughlin up front. Garrett McLaughlin, that is. They've got a really nice depth of options up front. A guy who was USL won all-league first team last year, scoring 14 goals for North Carolina, is able to just sit on the bench and be an option for the guy who's got 6 goals this year in Mensingen. They went out, brought in Mensingen to try and bring things up in the forward ranks, and they've done just that. One Knoxville pushing the ball forward. Cleared by Maldonado. Headed down, only finds Perez. His pass invites Arriaga to run forward, and they'll roll it over to Flores Blanco. Mensingen, yet again isolated. Ball into the box, cleared away. Fernandez plays it back to Holiday, and he'll play it to Navarro, but North Carolina definitely growing in confidence, and they'll want to try and take advantage of that. Anderson pressing, wins the ball. Has Mensingen in support, but he's isolated with Kelly. Passes it off. Arriaga on the right foot. The shot from distance, easy for Lewis to deal with. On target, but easily saved. And he's waving his team up the pitch. See it again here. Arriaga got it in the midfield. Had time to think, time to pick his head up, and his shot had a bit of venom on it, but it was easily saved and saw all the way by Lewis. Again on the ball. Playing things out from the back. Nice line-breaking pass. It's going to end up with Kelly. Vanderploum. Fernandez looks back to Lewis. Chrysler passes it back. Long ball forward. Running onto it is Waldeck. Holiday well off his line, slides in to clear it and have to rush back to make sure they can't rush things back into play to get a shot off. Johnson has it. Meanders forward. Vanderploum has Kelly to his outside. Offers an option and gets it back from him. Vanderploum to Villalobos. And now Waldeck on the near side. Lofted in. Turns. The left-footed shot easily collected by Holiday. First opportunity for Vollwinkle there. Coming off the bench a bit earlier than would have been anticipated, but does a good job to bring down the Chrysler pass forward with his right and the shot with his left. Easily dealt with, though, by Holiday. Sprays a long pass forward. Well, one header by Chrysler. Vanderploum. Arriaga with space to turn into. Metzingen pushes it past the defender. It's a 1-2 going. Anderson, tackle from behind by Vanderploum. Nothing given. Well won. Keegan dropping deep to link play up. Anderson is down after the tackle. They're going to pause play. Olex Anderson down after a tough challenge, but he's back up quickly. We're going to see it again here as Anderson drives forward. Definitely a lot of contact, and then he comes down hard on Anderson after the ball was gone. Hard to say where the pain was most felt, if it was on the initial challenge or on the second time of asking. The referee going to drop the ball to 1 Knoxville. Anderson back up and okay. Won't need to have a second substitution this first half. Eric Linehouse coming off with a shoulder injury from the original 11 for 1 Knoxville. A diving attempted block was no good. The header down. Finds Vollwinkle. Crossfield pass. A lot of spaces. Waldeck. Oh, the ball bounces just past him. Misread the bounce because of thumbs up, because he was found in a lot of space. 1 Knoxville really doing a good job of spreading the play quickly and effectively there. We'll see it again here. Crossfield ball, and then just takes a high bounce and couldn't quite read it. Probably wanted to get that one into his chest, but it bounced just over his head. Throw in now for North Carolina. Tosses it in. One back by Knoxville. Lofted forward. Chested down. Villalobos. Nice pass. Keegan. He's isolated on the left wing. Crosses it forward. Kelly touches it down. Left-footed shot. Takes a deflection and took the venom out of it. And picked up by Holiday, who will rush the edge of his box and look at his options. Holiday hasn't been seriously tested just yet. We see it again here as Kelly collects it and shoots with the left foot, but just scuffs his shot. Not quite able to get that one off in time. Flores Blanco. A lot of space to foray into. He's got Mensing into his left. Goes to him. Cuts it onto his right. Mensingen plays the pass. They both leave it. He's going to roll out to Young. He's got Anderson in the box if he wants him. Perez is a shorter option. Gives it to him. Pass trying to pick out Arriaga on the outside, and smartly by Fernandez lets it just roll out of play for a goal kick. 33 minutes into this one. Knoxville and North Carolina, second and third heading into today's contest. But they'll obviously know that there's a lot of challengers around them. Charlotte with a big 3 points earlier this afternoon on just the second time in USL League One history, a 6-match day. They took down Union Omaha 3-0, take first place by a pretty commanding margin. Nice run of form for Charlotte has led them to that spot. Here's Waldeck, plays it to Vowinkle, gets it back from him. A nice interception by Mensing on the defensive end to stop that opportunity. Perez holds off Fernandez. Flores Blanco looking at his options for throw-ins on the far side. Anderson dropping a bit deeper to offer support. Going to go even further than him, but the header intervenes by Kelly. Vander Ploum plays it back to him. The pass picks out Johnson. And Villalobos offers an option and support. It looks to be that Mensing has flipped sides out of the right wing. We'll see if it's temporary or maybe a more longer-term switch for the end of this first half. But the second leading scorer in the league switches from left wing to right wing, try and get a bit more joy. Maybe going towards the byline on his right foot rather than cutting inside on his right foot. One back by Vander Ploum, gets it to Johnson. 3v5 if they wanted to go quick. Nice turn, gets past the man. Out wide now. It's Keegan, looks up. Kicks it off of Flores Blanco, and it'll be a corner kick on the far side. Just the second corner of the match so far for one Knoxville. The first one didn't come to much, but wandering over is going to be Waldeck to take a left-footed corner kick. Set piece is incredibly vital to any team. And you see the three original center backs, Fernandez, Skelton, and Chrysler, all moving forward to offer some larger frames and support. Waldeck with the in-swinging corner. Puts it into the box, goes past everybody, and it's going to roll out for what looks to be a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch. Was close to picking up Vowinkle at the back post, but he just couldn't quite link up with the ball. Getting a look at this one here. It comes into the box, and Vowinkle just couldn't quite attack it, let it bounce past him. Probably didn't expect it to come through untouched, but the ball went from corner to corner without finding a man. Young driving up the side of the pitch. Gets past two players. His pass found Anderson, but a foul was ruled just before that after Young was bumped in the dribble. Maldonado ready to take. Arriaga's able to receive it in some space. And Fernandez again. We have seen Keegan drop into more of a second striker, number 10 role, with the sub of Vowinkle onto the pitch. Mensingen and Flores Blanco unable to link up there. The pass picks out. Vowinkle was dropping a bit deeper. Pass off to Waldeck. Clipped forward. Here is Arriaga. Out wide. Cervania going up against Waldeck. Wants a foul. Offside's given. And we'll see if a free kick was given. It's going to be just offside's given. Cervania making the point that there may have been a foul as he tried to roll the ball past the defender. But coming back in support was Young, and he came from an offside position. Lewis arcs one into the Knoxville sky. Hosting things for the first year in USL League One is Knoxville. Mark McKeever staying in the midweek, trying to develop a fan base, showcase a strong product for the fans that show up week in, week out. Referee slowing things, wants to have a talking to with Cervania Looks to be Waldeck. We're going after on the right wing. You see the ball go out of play here, and then slight touch in the back by Cervania into Fernandez. Referee making sure nothing untoward comes from it. Flores Blanco gives it to Mensing. A nice back heel. Gets it to Flores Blanco. Has Kelly behind him. Rolls it to Anderson. Can't get a shot away. A shot from distance on the first attempt would have been a incredible goal if he was able to put that on frame. But it came at him too quick and too awkwardly after it was cleared by Skelton. You just see run into his Arriaga. And his right-footed shot went just wide of the frame. That's shot number 6 for North Carolina. Vanderploum plays it to Kelly. He's moved from more of a pivot position to out onto the right side. Just coming together between the center back and Perez. Nothing given. Touchdown well by Vowinkle. Keegan looks up. Can't tell if that was a attempted pass to pick out Johnson or if he was eyeing a shot from way out of play. But it went through out for a goal kick nonetheless. Just under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Cagey first 40 minutes. Neither team really able to assert much into the contest. Pass forward. Picked out Cervania. And it was touched out of play by Fernandez. Young tosses it in. This crossfield ball takes a deflection. Looks like he was eyeing Mensing in. He was in a lot of space on the left wing if he's able to pick him out. Rosales, or Kelly, excuse me, takes it under a lot of pressure. It rolls now for Cervania. A chance on the break. Looks up, passes it out to Perez. He's got 2 options with him in the box. Lays it off. Takes a big deflection, goes right to Mensingen on the right foot. Shot takes a deflection, goes over. It'll be a corner kick. Now the pass took a massive deflection, but it may have not. They may not have wanted to fall to a more dangerous guy in the box than Rafa Mensingen. We see it bounce off Kelly and go right into the chest of Mensingen, but the ball rolling maybe a bit too far forward on the first touch with his chest. His shot takes a deflection over, and he'll be the one to take the corner kick on the far side. It'd be a great time to get a goal for North Carolina. Heading into halftime. Try and shake things up for the halftime team talk for Mark McKeever. And his home side. Whips it in. Headed clear on the first try, and then Keegan going to finish the job off at the back post and knocks it out of play. Arriaga leaves it for Young. Throw it in back to him. Young trying to turn past Keegan, but got the ball stuck under his feet, rolls out of play. It'll be a throw-in. Have to imagine Knoxville the happier of the two sides with this first 45. Slowing down what has been a fantastic attacking unit for North Carolina and handling the injury loss of Eric Linehouse quite effectively. Referee blows for a foul. Fernandez waving his team up the pitch. Lofted forward. Headed out. It'll be just advancing territory. Both teams just systematically moving the ball up and down the pitch. Not a ton of flowing moves offensively. Pass back to the goalkeeper and Sean Lewis. Looking back to Fernandez on the left-hand side. Right-footed ball forward. Looked like it was Keegan that took a tumble. Lofted over the top. Anderson puts his head down to run onto it. but it's going to roll out of play for a throw. And a chance maybe to press the throw on this end. Just a few minutes left in this first half. Tossed in. Just a slight shove after that one goes out of play by Young. Definitely something to watch out for, but a lot of chippiness on that right-hand side. The ball's been down there quite a bit. Arriaga plays to Mensingen. He's got 3 players around him defensively. He's going to go on the left side. 2 guys isolating him. Puts it between the legs of one, but Kelly wins it back. Maintains the pressure. Cervanian support. Forces an awkward clearance forward. Fernandez has it. Pass to Flores Blanco. He does keep it in play. Arriaga passes off. Mensingen, they're clearly not allowing him to be one-on-one. Swings one into the box, but it goes well too strong. Going to roll out now for a goal kick. And Lewis going to be in no rush to get this one back in play. See the 2 minutes on the board right there. The injury to Eric Linehouse, the main contributor to the extra 2 minutes in this first half. Pressing was Callum Johnson. Holiday puts his foot through the ball. The header too strong, and it's going to roll back to Young. Maybe an opportunity for one last attack for either team if they're able to get the ball up the pitch quickly. But also the question of if either of them want to try and open themselves up. Here's Flores Blanco going up against Kelly. Passes back to Fernandez. Onto the far side, it's Mensingen. Anderson controls it and turns. Anderson has the ball poked out of his feet. Runs onto it. Anderson keeping this one alive. Keeps it in play. That one's going to sneak in. Brilliant footwork on the far side from Anderson. Picks out Cervania. And he sneaks one in off the post. And just before halftime, North Carolina break this one open. We wondered if they could have one last attack. And Anderson, much like he's done for the last few matches, put the team on his back, dribbled past a few players and managed to just keep it in on the touchline and play it across for Cervania. We see it again here. Takes an awkward deflection by a defender, but he does not give up. Has 2 guys around him, keeps it in, and just a nice finish by Cervania. Puts it through the legs of Fernandez and finishes that one off right before halftime, completely blowing up the team talks for both teams at halftime. Long ball forward. The 2 minutes of out of time are up, but there's Waldeck. Ball into the box, cleared away by Navarro. Fernandez looking at his options. We're past 2 minutes now, but may get a few extra seconds on account of the celebrations after the Cervania goal. Long one forward. Waldeck running onto it. Can he get there? First time. Tries to put one in the box, but it's going to spin out into the trees. You imagine that's one of the last contributions of this first half, which completely turned on its head just before halftime. We featured him in the open. Olex Anderson going from scorer to provider, and Cervania coming from a bit of a deeper position. Just a crafty, well-placed left-footed finish. The goal kick by Holiday brings us into halftime. Well, that changes things. The goal by Cervania means that North Carolina has a 1-goal edge heading in to halftime. Both John Bradford and Mark McKeever having to tear up their halftime notes and switch things around heading to the break. You see your halftime match stats right there, but we're going to be heading into halftime here What a first half it was. Cagey throughout much of it, but North Carolina, a late goal from Cervania means they lead by a goal. Back in a moment for some halftime coverage around USL League One. We'll be coming in just a moment, but it was a match that looked like it was not going to be having much throughout. But man, was it an interesting first half right until the very end. Cervania opened the scoring after a brilliant bit of footwork and play by Anderson. More USL in just a moment on ESPN Plus after this.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Oh my goodness!
'We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Taxes man left foot, and it's a first-time shot, and a goal! Luis Fernando! It's turned over. Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising!
45 minutes down here in Knoxville. A late goal in the first half by North Carolina has them up by a goal. 45 minutes more to come in a moment. But let's get you some more action from across USL League One, across the country.
It's time for your Week 11 roundup, starting off at American Legion Memorial Stadium. A rainy day there, but it was also raining goals for the Jacks. Joel Johnson getting his first of the season, just recently became the most capped player in Jacks history. Then Omar Sist hits this beautiful free kick. Does a little celebration afterwards, similar to that of Cristiano Ronaldo. And then in the second half, Tracer Mbuyu, no goals 2 weeks ago. Now he has a goal in 2 straight games. If that man's getting hot, then the Jacks are really going to be flying. They're already up in the table, and if they can get Tracer Mbuyu in good form, they're a menacing team to go up against. Meanwhile, the two new clubs, their second ever fixture against each other, and it starts off with this Nico Brown header. Wonderfully serviced ball from Tate Robertson. Lexington gets the lead at home, but there would be a response, and it would be from a man who scored in their first leg. It would be Jake Keegan tucking it home. He's been in great form to start this season, making the transfer over to One Knoxville, his third different League One club. And Keegan, once again, on the score sheet here. Then later in the game, Ahinga Selemani would play this ball in, and Amael Knight would knock it away, keep it at a 1-1 draw. Mark McKeever and Sam Stockley would give an encouraging handshake after the match, sharing a point apiece. Meanwhile, Future Legend Sports Complex opens up its home to Northern Colorado Hailstorm. This will be where they'll be playing games for quite a long time, and they christened it properly. 1 goal in the first half. 9 minutes later, they'd get a second goal in the first half. Billy King. Then it would only take 7 more minutes, still in the first half, where Billy King, who's been involved in each goal, mind you, so far, draws the penalty. They're going to give it to Trevor Ahmed, which puts him at 6 total goals in the season, tying him with Rafa Mensingen. They're already up 3-0. but they still got one more goal in them before the end of the half, and it would be Trevor Amon getting his 7th goal, putting him in the lead for the Golden Boot race. In the second half, there would be a goal salvaged for Central Valley Fuego after the handball inside the 18. Villian Bijev would put it home, making it 4-1 in favor of Northern Colorado Hailstorm. What a way to open up your new home as we go over to a new home that was opened up last season and also saw a championship title. Tormenta hosting Richmond right before the half. Nick Akoto would put this one in, his first goal as a pro. Nice rainy day in Tormenta as well. Saw some rain across different venues in USL League One last Saturday. And then the Olympico from Justin Suko. Ambitious strike. Pablo Hara, could he have done better? I don't know. It was a good hit from Suko. It would end up being a 1-1 draw, but not before we saw a red card. Zaka Moran, the ever physical holding midfielder, gets his 2nd yellow. He'd get sent out of the match, but no goals would be scored. Ian Cameron and Darren Sawatsky share a handshake, and we go on to our last game of the day. Madison going to Werner Park. Fantastic save from Vern Shipman. 2 fantastic keepers in this game between Shipman and Rashid Nuhu. But it would be Macias who gets on the scoreboard first, weaving through some traffic, getting the nice finish, making it 1-0 in favor of the Mingos, and doing a little runway celebration afterwards. But Omaha would come in, the ball would skip through a couple times, and Shaft Brewer would put it home to tie the game up at 1 apiece. But there would still be one more goal in this game, a winner, a decider. This corner kick, Christian Cheney is going to do some fantastic individual effort. Let's take a look at this touch right here, and then outside of his boot, gets it done. Madison win 2-1. We're going to step aside for a break. We'll see you on the other end on ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer, bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Turned over, Babu Karjai to put it away. Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer, bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Halftime here in Lexington. It's 1-0 North Carolina after a late bit of brilliance from Olex Anderson. Some bit of surveying across the league, some news, notes, and what's happening around the conference. Proud to be USL launching a partnership with You Can Play in honor of Pride Month. It's about that time in June. 100th appearance for Don Smart for Lexington. I think just the 7th player in history to hit that march. And Noe Meza scored twice and assisted once in Omaha's 3-3 draw to become player of the week. A great performance for Union Omaha. Here's the full team of the week there. You see Eric Linehouse, guy who had to come off with a shoulder injury actually in that first half, but was the lone guy from either of these two teams in that match, in this team of the week between these two teams. The team of the week there, you see Austin Pack up at the very top, leads the league in saves, having a great year for Charlotte Independence, has them on top of the table pending today's results, but obviously they're being exploded by what's happening across the conference. Toss every team's name into a hat, shuffle it around, and you may get a bit closer to what it could look like after today's contest. 5 games currently in action. Charlotte did win 3-0. There's a few matches that are quite tight. Northern Colorado up by a goal. They've got a lot of games in hand. Could be a team to watch to shoot up the table in the next few weeks. Been a great game so far here today. And we're kind of seeing what could be changing all across the conference. Currently on top of the table is Northern Carolina, but it could change completely with what happens in the next few games. A lot of games to come up here on Wednesday and next weekend. Make sure you tune into ESPN Plus for all the USL League One action. But it should be a great one. And back in just a moment with some second half action here in Knoxville. 1-0 currently. Back in a moment.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Left foot, and it's a first-time shot, and a goal! Luis Fernando! It's turned over. Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising.
45 minutes into what's been a fascinating encounter between one Knoxville and North Carolina FC. We see some awkward opportunities early on in the match. We wondered, would there be a goal in the first 45 minutes? The best opportunity in the first 20-30 minutes came courtesy of that ball over the top, run onto it by Keegan. Nice save by Lewis to keep things level at 0. A diving save down to his right-hand side. But not a ton of great opportunities for either team. We see again here, it's Waldeck. He was one of the main contributors. Just couldn't quite pick out a teammate with a diving header in Villalobos. All across the match, they were able to get the left backs into things. We see Flores Blanco playing over Mensingen. That shot again, just wide, just off. These opportunities couldn't quite click, and we wondered as the match got on, when you can't get guys like Anderson clicking there and shots are just going wide, would there be a goal in that first half? And we saw it very late on. It was going to be coming down. Ball into the box was blocked. Mensingen again closed down tightly. Knoxville making sure that he could not be the guy that breaks them open. And then it came down to Anderson, was the guy who was able to break things open on the far side, kept things alive. Cervania knocks it in off the post. Not the prettiest of goals on the finish, but it was relentless by Anderson, the mark of a good forward. Stays with it to the end of the first half, plays that to Cervania, and they get the lone goal of the match so far. And we're back here for the second half in just a moment. Some of the stats from that first half, the big one, the goal. And a lot of shots, a lot of possession in North Carolina's favor. probably a justified lead on the balance of things, and now up to 1 Knoxville to come back. Back on the pitch, ready to get things back underway. Interested to see how 1 Knoxville attempts to respond to the late setback that they suffered, conceding the goal there. Long ball forward. Teams switching sides. We'll see Rafa Mensingen on the near side rather than the far side. Left winger, you see him with the low socks, the Brazilian. 26 years of age, 6 goals on the year so far. Brought him in from Chattanooga. Part of a big summer, or a big winter, I should say. Used to saying transfers happen in the summer. Ball into the box. Headed out of play. An early corner opportunity now for North Carolina. Mensingen going onto the near side to collect the ball. He'll be the one to take it. They'll toss forward Navarro and Fernandez. Pair of 6-footers who can offer a threat in the box. Anderson's right next to Lewis as the goalkeeper. Whipped into the box. It does go right in front of goal. He didn't know much about it, but what a stop to keep things level by Sean Lewis. A point-blank header by Anderson, and he keeps things at 1-0. They could have gotten really out of the match just into the beginning of this second half, but he was there, and he made the stop. Holiday lofts it forward. As Perez chests it down and flicks it over his head for Young. He's going to kick that one back and keep it in play. Cervania, the goal scorer, thought about challenging it, but left it. Anderson putting a bit of pressure on Lewis. His left-footed ball arcs high, not too much depth, and just a complete coming together there. Referee blowing for a foul against North Carolina. We'll take a look at that corner again. Comes into the box, and the header just goes right on target. I didn't give him enough credit. Did kind of get an arm out to get a stop on that. Lewis did, and the keeper makes a big stop early in the half. Anderson had an assist right at the death of the first half and nearly bookended it with an assist, or a goal himself, to start the second. Fernandez passes to Waldeck. His pass does find Vowinkle. Passed over. Keegan, he's got it in the box. 2 options with him. Cuts it back. Nearly an own goal. A save, though, brilliant by Holiday. Handball given. It's going to keep the pressure away for North Carolina. But it looked like it might have been Navarro who nearly put it in his own goal, if not for a foot save by Nicholas Holiday. Talk about a complete inverse in the first half. Both teams, great opportunities here. We see Keegan bounce past Fernandez. His ball in. Navarro gets something on it, but he put it on frame himself. And then you see the handball by Vowinkle ends the opportunity. Nearly an own goal, if not for a reflex foot stop by Nicholas Holiday, the 17-year-old top prospect, and keeps things clean at the back there. Anderson wanted a foul. Has his arms out. Loses the ball. The match at times was cagey. Both teams not desperate to break their shape to try and force a goal. But now Knoxville is going to have to make something happen. Head coach Mark McKeever mentioned that they are going to need to get goals from elsewhere. It's mainly been coming from Keegan, and they haven't been able to finish their opportunities. It wasn't quite an opportunity per se, but Keegan created a really dangerous chance that they nearly were able to scrape into the back of the net. Arriaga, a bit of link-up play there, chesting it, but his pass is too strong. Cervania is going to press all the way back to Lewis, and he's going to launch that one forward. Navarro header puts it back, but Vanderploum collects it in the midfield, and Villalobos, nice pass, picks out Vowinkle. The match seems to have opened up a little bit here. Kelly thought about a pass forward, but gives it back instead. Brilliant pass to spread the play. Waldeck holds off his opponent and passes it back. Fernandez back to Waldeck, back to Fernandez. North Carolina went from, in the blink of an eye, having to figure out how to break into the match to now they are leading. Foul committed by Johnson. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home of the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Ball over the top, headed back. Knoxville launching it forward. But it is interesting to see if they decide to be the aggressors still, North Carolina, or if they want to sit back a bit deeper. Mensingen and Anderson both have electric pace. So if they force a higher line from Knoxville, passes over the top could prove to be quite fruitful. See Chrysler tosses one in on the near side throw-in. And Villalobos is back in the ball forward. Flicked on header. Chested down. Passed off. Here is Holiday. Goes for the option at right back and Young. Dangerous pass. Does find Maldonado. Back to him. Nice turn to hold off Waldeck. Young gonna loft one forward. Perez running onto it. Cuts it back to his preferred left foot. Rolls it over to Cervania. Runs into the space. Lofted back. It's going to go all the way to Flores Blanco. Mensingen isolated with Kelly. The left foot. Too much on the cross. Too much juice on it. Goes out for a goal kick. They've been able to get him in one-on-ones. We see him just shuffle forward with it. A danger on either foot. But he's been relatively limited. They've definitely gone into the match with a thought to make sure they limit his contributions. But with results elsewhere, as things stand, obviously nothing locked up yet. One Knoxville currently falling to 5th place in the table, as Northern Colorado and Richmond are both winning their matches. They would leap into 3rd and 4th respectively, and North Carolina would resume their position on top of the table. Long ball forward by Lewis, picks out a teammate, Keegan. Turns, foul could have been called, but advantage going to be played. Keegan kept the play alive. Here's Kelly. Has an option, making an underlapping run. Cuts it onto the left. Cuts it in again. Passes it out. Vowinkle lofts it in to the back post for Waldeck. The duel is won by Perez, but he was the last one to touch it, so Knoxville can maintain the pressure. A fan helping out there, tossing the ball back in. Chrysler. Pull of the shirt. Likely to the first yellow card of the contest, and it will be given to Callum Johnson. Excuse me, Vowinkle there. It is the 21, Matthew Vowinkle. Forward is booked for pulling back the jersey of Cervania. Quite an obvious one there. You see just a very obvious pull of the shirt, comes together with the back of his legs. And Cervania will be very pleased to have drawn the foul and the yellow card. First of the match for Vowinkle. This one looking to roll out a play. Thought of a quick throw. Will go longer with it. Running onto it was Maldonado. Cleared out a play by Vanderplam. Coming together there. It's going to be a foul called against one Knoxville. Coming together with the feet there. Villalobos making his case. And a little bit of discomfort. Looks to be Arriaga, but he gets back up right there. We'll see it again here. Chests it down. It almost seems like with the back of his heel was Keegan. Kind of caught the knee of Arriaga. A very interesting spot to take a free kick. Can be from this far right-hand side. Perez with the left foot gonna curl one in, closer towards the box. He puts it into the box. But he's got Maldonado offering a shorter option. Lofted in. headed forward. A high boot, put it in, and it will be called a foul. And right there, Lewis going for that one. A quick free kick taken to move this one forward here. You see it there again, just a high boot. Not close enough to the ball for the referee's liking. Pass now, picks out Fernandez, low ball, Waldeck. Turns the ball over. Navarro. Low pass. Back heel, knocked off a defender, and Anderson will run into the channel to collect it. Holding off the defender. Poked out of play. Last touch by Anderson. Slightly unhappy with that call, but the ball will be one Knoxville to do with as they please. Referee wants to slow things down and talk to Anderson about it. Referee makes his point. Anderson makes his. We resume the contest. 10 minutes gone in this first half. A crazy first few moments. A great header opportunity for Anderson that was well saved by Lewis. Nearly an own goal committed by Daniel Navarro. Well saved by Nicholas Holiday. You don't say that very often with an own goal nearly happening, but well saved by the feet of Holiday. Since then, things have calmed down a little bit. Still 11 shots for North Carolina and just a 4 for one Knoxville. Oh, nice nutmeg for Mensingen. Puts it between the legs of the defender. Pass well intercepted by Vander Plaum. Read the play. Now here is Johnson dribbling against Cervania. Thought there was a foul committed, and there was indeed. Draws the foul, dribbling that one up. Cervania, the man who committed it. Still just the one yellow card of the contest. Coming by Vowinkle about 4 minutes ago now. Fouls have been relatively low. Hasn't been too chippy a match. One Knoxville has increased their possession. They now hold a slight majority, 50.1%. Technically a majority. So hope that it translates to something else. Vowinkle holding off the challenges of Mensingen. Gets it over to Kelly. A thumping challenge by Mensingen on the second attempt. Brings down Kelly. And he gestures for a card. Referee's going to keep the cards in his pocket for Mensingen. We'll see it again here, though. He tries on the first attempt there, can't quite get it, and then comes in a tough challenge. One where you could definitely see that being called as a yellow card, but the referee keeping it in his pocket, and it's going to allow Waldeck the opportunity nonetheless to take a left-footed free kick in a really dangerous position. You already see standing on the penalty spot, looks to be Villalobos. And he'll wander back to the back line, trying to make them uncomfortable. He'll get back in the line that's right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Into the area. Holiday comes up, collects it well. They could try and break if they want to. They're going to roll it out. They've got some numbers breaking forward. Perez moves onto his left foot. Switches the play. Great pass to pick out Mensingen. Has to kind of have control with his right foot, but he's one-on-one. Nice challenge, though, to win it initially. He slides back in, and it's a duel back there. He's holding off one defender, now two. He's pushed down, and it's one back, and Kelly will bring it up the pitch. His long ball forward instigates a foot race. It's won by Fernandez against Vowinkle, who has to be careful. He's on a yellow card. His leash got a little bit tighter after he was given the yellow card for the shirt pull on Cervania. Low pass, goes out of play. Last touched by Perez. Unhappy with the decision on that far side. He's laughing about it himself, but probably not terribly happy with it. Throw, Vander Plaum. Pass, picks out teammate. Kelly's one-on-one with the defender. Keegan's in a lot of space, has both of his hands up, but he couldn't quite get it to him. He does loft it forward, but the pass was asking too much of Vowinkle, it was, as a matter of fact, who was going for it there. I'll let it take it a moment before he's going to pick this one up. forcing Vowinkle to make the trot over, and then he'll toss this out to Fernandez. Low pass, Mensingen, touch a little bit heavy. Some really nice control up and then down. Oh, and just gets past the defender, then takes a tough fall. Referee wanting to pause there as Mensingen is holding his left foot in quite some discomfort. Referee asking for the players to calm down. That's a brilliant bit of control, though. He took a bit of a heavy touch, but then he went up with it first and then down. See again here, just goes up and then controls it back. And gets past one and then two players, then just a kick out by Johnson. Surprised it wasn't a yellow card considering the one given to Vowinkle earlier. Seemed in a similarly cynical position, stopping him from dribbling forward. He's being tended to. Only substitution of the match so far, Jan-Erik Leinhos had a shoulder injury about 20 minutes into the contest, had to come off in place of Vowinkle, caused them to shift things around from a back five back to their typical, maybe from a typical back five to a back four, but they've shown flexibility between the two. It was indeed a yellow card in the end for Johnson. Took a bit longer, but it was indeed a yellow card sponsored by Hale Varsity Club. After a bit of a pause, it'll be a free kick. Fernandez standing over it. 2 yellow cards now given against 1 Knoxville. The header. Anderson wins it. They wanted a foul for a defender cutting under him, but nothing given. Young pushing forward with it. Gives it to Perez. Gives over to Arriaga. Navarro. And Fernandez. Flores Blanco on this near side, driving inside. He's shown a propensity to dribble forward with it frequently on the left back spot. An interesting dual threat there. Arriaga playing it back to Young. Got Maldonado dropping deep to make an option. His pass forward to Perez, couldn't pick him out because he was knocked out of play. Young eyeing his options. Sun beginning to set here in Knoxville. Nice move by Perez, got it wider a little bit. He's guarded by Villalobos. Good pass, picks out Anderson on the left foot, driving onto it. His pass off is blocked by Vander Plaum. Pass out to Young. Bit condensed, some step over moves. Gets it. Here's Perez. Has Young as an option, but he's going to drive onto the right foot, cuts back to the left foot, lofted into the box. Kelly heads it clear, not fully dealt with. Headed down, Mensingen will roll it back to Fernandez. Very aggressive right now, North Carolina. They lead by a goal, but they're prowling for a second. They bemoaned not getting the second one last time out. Arriaga kicks it off his opponent, and it goes out for a corner kick. Another opportunity there for North Carolina, number 6 on the match for them. Yeah, but last time out against Charlotte Independence, they scored first. Their head coach, John Bradford, saying that they controlled the first 50 minutes, but they just couldn't quite get that second goal to come across. And then Charlotte stayed in the match, eventually scoring 2 to win it. 2-1, the Dagwood Derby. Here's a corner, though, into the box. Unable to pick out Cervania. It'll go out for a throw to be given to 1 Knoxville. It is a season of a lot of firsts for Knoxville, obviously being a first-year USL League One team. But entering today's contest, North Carolina was first in the league. They're back first with this current lead as things stand. But it was their first time playing a team at the summit of USL League One. First time playing North Carolina. They'll play them 2 more times this year as that pass is put out of play. by Holiday. They'll play them again on July 8th, later this summer, and then later in the fall, October 14th, the last game of the regular season. Games that you imagine will have a lot of importance and implication. There's a foul there, committed by looked to be Vanderploum. Running forward is Maldonado, trying to defend his teammate after Cervania took a tough fall. Looked to be both players kicking for the ball. Cervania got to it first, and it appeared the defender, his opponent, took him out. So to look at this here. It's going to fall, set up for Cervania. And it did seem as though that Vanderploum got the ball. It was a high boot, but it looked like he got the ball and did catch a lot of Cervania, causing a bit of discomfort for him as you see him on the ground right now. But we shall see if Cervania will continue here. He's getting up, and it appears that he'll be able to continue as things stand. Back to his feet. 66 minutes gone. About 25, bit more to play with stoppage time factored in. A lot of contact there on the defense, holding his face there. There's been a lot of fouls. The game has had a raised element of chippiness to it. It is Johnson who committed the foul. He is on a yellow card, and I think making that point is Cervania, saying, could that be a yellow card if he wasn't already on one? Look at it again here. Flores Blanco plays it to Fernandez, passes it off, and just leaves it in. Just a bit reckless from Johnson there as a guy on a yellow card. Looks like the referee is going to let him off with a warning there, but you have to imagine he's on very thin ice and probably a target for Mark McKeever to make a substitution. Long ball forward. Perez, and giving the thumbs up. He likes the idea of the pass, but just couldn't quite get on the end of it. But Johnson and Vowinkle, the two players on yellow cards as things stand. No yellow cards assessed to North Carolina as things stand. Vanderploum, lofted forward, thumping header clear. Cervania takes a beating on the head there, but got it to Anderson. He's driving forward. Anderson keeping it alive. Brilliant tackle to stop things by Skelton. Cervania still down, though. I think the referee's going to take a pause. You could see from here that it just, as he flicked it on, he took a big bump in the head. Can't tell who it was that was on the other end of it, but definitely a big coming together there. Trainer coming on the pitch to help assess Cervania. He was down a moment ago with another challenge. But it will allow North Carolina the opportunity to get some water. A brief refresher. No substitutions by either team. An exception for the forced one after the injury to Jan-Erik Linehouse. We're getting on in the match a little bit. Knoxville, wonder what options they have off the bench. They have got some injuries that have limited their options in that department. You definitely think a guy like Ilya Illich at 32 years old, got 2 goals already on all competitions. Yeah, you see right there, just a big coming together. Vanderploum, the other guy on the other side of that one there. Just coming together. He's back on his feet. A great sign to see Cervania back up. He'll have to come off the pitch probably to just make sure he's all good there. The referee waiting for the trainer and Cervania to get off the pitch. We have got our substitution here. Commentator's curse there, jinxed that. Coming out, Gabriel Claudio will be coming on for Danny Fernandez. Frank Ross as well coming on for Callum Johnson. A very wise substitution to bring off Johnson, who had the yellow card and then the you don't want to call it half a yellow card, but definitely a big challenge that if he got another foul, another 2 fouls, probably he wasn't going to see out the rest of the match. But Frank Ross, a guy that I was going to mention, he had some injury problems. McKeever mentioned that he brought him back to the bench last match, was not going to try and force him out because the match against Lexington got pretty stretched. Teams were going up and down the pitch quite aggressively, and he didn't want to bring him on fresh off an injury in a match that wide open, but he's going to bring him on out of need here. Here's Kelly. Flicks it up against his opponents. Here is Ross getting right into the thick of things. Kicks it off of his opponent, rolls out of play for a corner. The Scottish forward coming on and to big effect. Played for Aberdeen and Go Ahead Eagles. Was in the Scottish Premier League as a runner-up 3 times with Aberdeen to Celtic, all 3 times. More recently playing with Go Ahead Eagles in the Eredivisie, in the Dutch First Division. Here is Waldeck. 70 minutes gone. Looking for an equalizer. Whips it into the box. First header is won by North Carolina. Waldeck lofts it into the box. Header won by Fernandez. A tough fall for Maldonado. Kelly hit him in the back, and you saw him take a tough fall to the ground. The crowd here in Knoxville getting agitated. That's a foul calls that have piled up against them. It's been over 30 minutes since one Knoxville last attempted a shot in this contest. They haven't been able to generate something in this second half. And it goes without saying that if they want to get at least a point, they'd love to get more here at home. They'll need to generate something. But Frank Ross coming off the bench to a bit of effect. They have 2 more substitutions that they can make. Header out of play, knocked out by one Knoxville. Long throw. Tough fall for Anderson. Metzingen. Cervania falls to him. He has space out wide. Gives over to Young. Chris Young passes it into Perez. He's still got Young as an option in support if he wants him. He's going to duck back. His pass, not able to find a teammate. Lewis will slide up and grab it. Applause from the crowd. The veteran goalkeeper, 31 years of age. Spent 7 seasons in the championship. Penn FC, FC Tulsa, Indy 11 last year, most recently. Bringing a lot of experience to Knoxville in a year that has been described as chaos by Coach McKeever. As they made the transition from pre-professional to professional, it was always the intention to make the leap, but having a solid first year in USL League Two and then making the leap to professional ranks in USL League One has its challenges, but he's always said the city of Knoxville has been very welcoming. The fans have made it a great experience, even though he says they hadn't had a product on the field just yet. The support was strong from the beginning. Here's Claudio, one of the substitutions. He's come on in this right back position. Skelton. Chrysler. Diagonal pass. Kelly tosses over his opponent, and a foul is given. Has his hands up, asking where the foul was on that one, but got into a tussle with Nelson Flores Blanco. And I think the referee may be saying multiple fouls on Kelly. He is a guy who has committed numerous fouls on the season. He's got 6 yellow cards, I should say. 8 gets you a 1-match suspension on the totality of the season. But he's been in a physical confrontation on the right side. This game still wide open. Only separated by a Jaden Cervania left-footed shot inside the 6-yard box right at the end of the first half. Low pass. Keegan plays it off. Kelly's pass blocked. He's going to spin out. Vanderploum thought about taking the throw himself. We'll leave it for Claudio. Slings one forward. Vowinkle runs onto it. Can he get there in time? He cannot. Flores Blanco did just enough to shepherd it out of play, and it goes out for a goal kick. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC, Saturday, July 1 at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN 2. That's July 1st at 11 p.m. on ESPN 2. A fun one here, 75 minutes gone. The last moments coming in this contest. Chested down. Vollwinkle had an avenue to run into a little bit. Mensingen played it off and got it back. He's up against Claudio, plays it to Anderson. Bit of a heavy touch. Can't quite keep it in play. Upset it himself and hold the ball in his arms. I think we're going to be entering the stage of the match where neither team is particularly, well, North Carolina definitely wanted to slow things down. Knoxville wanted to speed things up. I imagine that difference of opinion will cause absolutely no problems. See McLaughlin and Somersault preparing to come on. Mensingen returned to the starting lineup. It'll come out here. A solid showing from him, but for a guy with 6 goals in the year, he would have wanted potentially a bit more. And Anderson comes off as well for McLaughlin. So the 2 main goal scorers come off. Perez, the guy with 4 goals in the pitch, he'll stay on for now. But that is Garrett McLaughlin on for Olex Anderson. Mensingen off for Raheem Somersault. Low pass picks out Frank Ross. Tough challenge by Somersault, getting right into the thick of things, and a foul will be called. Ross going to leave it. They're going to allow options to get forward. May even be in a position to take a long free kick into the box if they want. You see a bit of control by Vanderplam. They're going to go short, in fact. Here's Waldeck into the box. Flicked header. Claudio keeps it in. Not fully dealt with. Ross heads it. Controlled by Keegan. The shot just wide. Great first touch with the right, and the left-footed shot dragged agonizingly wide of the goal. Jake Keegan inches away from making it 6 on the year and equalizing here. We'll see it again. Nice header back in. Great touch. It was Fernandez keeping him onside. Would have definitely counted had he put it in the back of the net. But just off on that one. Bending right now is North Carolina. They'll allow a bit of bending, but they hope they don't break. Here in the final closing moments of the match, headed duel. Neither player gets to it. It's going to bounce forward for Kelly. It does go out of play, though, before that, so it'll be a throw for North Carolina. Flores Blanco ready to take. Coming into the back of him was Claudio. Knocked him over, but able to win aside a throw-in. Referee not judging that to be a foul. Kelly flicks it over his head. Headed forward. And now launched even further forward. That one sits up. Referee takes a moment to whistle for a handball, it appears. Maybe a foul. Definitely an awkward coming together between McLaughlin and Vanderplam. See it again here. Goes up in the air and definitely hits his hand after the coming together. So whether it was a foul or a handball, take your pick. The same result comes. It's a free kick for 1 Knoxville. We enter into the 80th minute. Flicked on header, Vollwinkle. Maybe trying to put a right foot to that. Headed back by Navarro into the hands of Holiday. Thought about slinging it forward. They have Vollwinkle, Ross, Keegan, and Kelly operate almost as a front 4. They're slinging numbers forward in an attempt to try and equalize in the match. Long one forward by Claudio. Ross will be in pressure of Fernandez. He's got Holiday back. Clearance wasn't fully dealt with, and it rolls all the way back to Claudio. Two shots on target of the 5 total shots for one Knoxville. 12 shots, 6 on target. The Cervania one hitting the inside of the post and going in to be the difference in today's contest so far. Been a great one to be calling here on ESPN Plus so far. Villalobos plays it to Waldeck. Got Keegan. Keegan playing a bit wider now. Chrysler, long ball. Kelly, nice touch, gets it stuck under his feet a little bit. A big fight there for it. He's going to be coming out with it. Kelly, cutting in field, keeps with it. Plays it over to Waldeck. The left back a bit more advanced, clips it into the box. The header not fully dealt with. Comes out now to Claudio. Push the pass to the defender. Cervania, though, stays vigilant. One back by Ross. Cleared out. Corner kick. Definitely every man going to be back for North Carolina. Trying to keep things locked down at the back in the closing stages of this match. There's a pair of substitutions to come in. You see Ahinga Selemani coming out for Derek Waldeck. As well as Andreasen will be ready to come on for Vowinkle. So Vowinkle came on earlier in the match, about 20 minutes in. Got about 60 minutes of play. Not your typical on and off substitution. Had to come in for an injured player and comes off later. He's on a yellow card. And you bring back on a guy who started last match, Sebastian Andreasen. 1 goal, the Norwegian. Left-footed ball into the box. Headed out on the first try. Selemani will allow someone else to take the throw. Kelly leaves it for Claudio. But Selemani for Waldeck, a more forward-thinking sub. Forward on for a left back. They'll probably operate on that left side. You see him, the number 9. Shot by Keegan. It was an ambitious effort, but I think if anyone has the goodwill to try and attempt like that in a match like this, probably is Jake Keegan. 5 goals on the year. Few guys with 1, but it's been him who's been leading them a lot. He scored the equalizing goal against Lexington last time. Can he make it 2-2 for equalizers? Long ball forward. Cervania left the ball for Flores Blanco to take. Passed off by McLaughlin. Cuts it onto the right foot. Pass intervened by Selemani. Pushes it wide of Perez. Gets into a foot race. Perez pokes his foot in the way. Looks to be a foul is given. So Perez is going to be a little slow to get up. Selemani put a foot in. Looks to be second to it. We'll see it again here. Pushing it out wide. Selemani just not quite able to get his foot on it. Perez, the man to take as he recovers from the challenge. Selemani shuffling over to mark the option along the right flank. One man in the wall. Lofted into the box. Headed over to Cervania. He's guarded. Defended by Kelly. Goes out of play. And coming together on the near side. Referee running over to make sure nothing majorly untoward happens. Referee will be booking Angelo Kelly for his role in the encounter there. Yellow card number 7. Takes the full-on lead of yellow cards in USL League One. Claudio and Cervania, a bit of afters there. Pushing and shoving coming in. The match definitely kicking off now as frustrations for Knoxville are boiling over, and North Carolina, do you imagine, are okay with the match getting a little chippy like this because it just drags the match on with more time on sorting out who shoved who and less time on the ball on the pitch. We'll see it again here. Looked to be Arriaga a little slow to get up, and then Selemani, excuse me, it was Cervania who put his body into Claudio, and then some pushing and shoving happened. Callie, a guy who's on a yellow card, getting in things as well. Somersault in competition with the referee. We'll keep you updated on if any decisions are made on either end of things. The ball knocked out of Keegan's hands, and the referee, I think, just saying stop to the players there. And we'll get back to what originally was adjudged to be a throw-in for North Carolina. Flores Blanco. Long throw. Header. Last touch by Knoxville. Tossed into the chest of McLaughlin. Some nice dribbling on the left wing. Slides over to McLaughlin. Nice defending, though. Keeps it in play. It does go out, though, for a goal kick. Some more subs going to be coming into the match now. Lewis won't be able to take it as quick as he would like. Coming in now is going to be DJ Benton for Louis Perez. Another sub bringing off one of their premier forwards. An incredibly deep front line, but Benton as a defender made 27 appearances last season with Chattanooga. Most interceptions on the team that made it all the way to the finals. Runners up in USL League One last year. Brought a few players over from that squad. Both Navarro and Mensingen came from Chattanooga as well. Part of a big money push to bring in some new talent to the club. Flores Blanco lofts it clear. But Benton, obviously, as a defender comes on. A much more defensive-minded sub as they're just going to try and drop the numbers deeper. Claudio takes the throw forward, but the referee saying the ball was not put out of play in that position. Forces him deeper, closer to his halfway line. Referee will blow for a foul there. Match. A lot of stopping and starting as things stand. And down, slow to get up. Again here will be, looks to be Arriaga. You see is going for the loose ball. It was Maldonado, excuse me. Gets the ball, clears it forward. Villalobos leaving a foot in as he was trying to block it. Foul given. In absolutely no rush will be Maldonado. A few minutes of stoppage time. The match definitely has dragged on at portions throughout this second half. It started off with a bit of a bang. A near own goal, a near goal on either end. Neither went across. We maintained the 1-0 goal. The 1-0 score, I should say. And that means that the stakes are incredibly high. North Carolina want to return to the summit. Knoxville want to send their home fans happy with a late draw that would surely feel like a win if they were able to eke out an equalizer. Sounded like it's going to be 6 minutes of added time, so definitely not going to be over anytime soon, relatively. Going to be several opportunities for both teams to score. Honestly, North Carolina didn't get the second goal that they wanted when they took the lead. And they ended up conceding 2 to fall to defeat. 6 minutes may not be enough for 2 for Knoxville, but they'll definitely only need 1 opportunity, especially with a guy like Jake Keegan. Board goes up with 6 minutes.
The fourth official has indicated a
Ball comes loose for
second half.
Summersall. He plays it off. Chipped forward for McLaughlin. Nice chest down. Picks out Young. Arriaga. McLaughlin. Picks out Arriaga in the box. McLaughlin, his flicked touch into the box, couldn't quite pick out a teammate. Andreasen wins it in the midfield. For a loose touch, Summersall plays it. Picking that up was Benton. Into the box, headed clear. North Carolina keeping the pressure up. They know if the ball is in this half, it can't be immediately scored. By 1, Knoxville. Tossed in. Benton. Hold on to the defender. Poked out of play by Selemani. Tossed back in. Pressed by 2 players. Wisely let it run out of play by Cervania. And again, walking to get to the ball. There'll be no rush. About 4 minutes left in this one of the stoppage time. Flores Blanco will bounce one in to McLaughlin. His pass cleared out by Kelly. Some excellent time management so far by North Carolina. Just keeping the ball in this half incredibly effectively. The legs feel like they've been gone for Knoxville. Just struggling to win the ball back. Claudio heads it infield. Vanderploum, his header, trying to cushion it for a teammate. It goes out of play. North Carolina would like a goal, but they've not committed too many numbers forward. They're just keeping them penned in. Bouncing it in. Trying to turn was McLaughlin. Flores Blanco. Cervania. He's got Flores Blanco with him. He goes over. It'll be a foul committed by Kelly. Again, he is on a yellow card, so Kelly committed a few fouls in this game, given a yellow card in the 85th minute. It would be tough to lose him for next match as well, a player of his talent. They're going to go now try and keep the ball in the corner. Claudio wins it off. Kelly. Benton has it. Takes a bit of a heavy touch, though. They concede it. This might be the moment. They've got the ball on the goal kick. Will they go long or short? They're going to go with the immediate option to Skelton. Carrying it forward. Skelton lofts it forward. Does find a teammate. Touches it down. Lofted up. The header down. Bit of a loose touch. Selemani running for it. Benton clears it though. Touched. Goes just out of play. It's going to be a North Carolina throw-in. Punched into the ground. Spiked by Skelton. It's going to be North Carolina with it. Touchdown by McLaughlin to Benton. McLaughlin has it again. Benton passes over. Chested down. Ross cuts it back, draws the foul. Yellow card given after the foul committed by Summersall. This might be just about it. Minute and a half to go. Free kick in a very promising position for one Knoxville.
Yellow card issued to North Carolina, number 44, Raheem Somersault.
You see just a cut back by Ross, who's been bright in the few moments he's had on the ball, but hasn't been able to assert himself much in the match since coming off the bench. Everybody is forward. Everybody is back. Lofted in. The header. Tossed towards goal, but it goes over for Holiday. He lays on his back. They're going to be in absolutely no rush. And just to make it a bit quicker, they're going to put the ball right on the spot so he doesn't have to move it at all. Referee indicating they want him to speed it up a bit, but Villalobos tossing the ball into the box. The header by Skelton. Never much at risk for Holiday there. About 30 seconds left in this one if the referee sticks to just the minimum of 6 minutes of added time. Puts it forward. Skelton heads it up. Claudio passes it backwards towards Lewis. They're going to probably want to go long. Launch into the night sky. Prayer flicked on by Andreasen. Touched down. In behind. Kelly was running onto it, but it's knocked out clear for a corner kick. This is it. This is fully it. We may even see Lewis rush forward for this one. You see Chrysler touch it down. The pass by Ross trying to get it to Kelly. Knocked clear. They didn't see a deflection. This is it. Corner from the near side. Looks to be Kelly over it. Goes short to Ross. Ross, it's cleared out. And that's it. Unable to get a shot off there. North Carolina sees it out, and they get a gutsy 3 points on the road in the first ever meeting between one Knoxville and North Carolina. Jaden Cervania, the difference after a bit of magic from Olix Anderson. But a cagey, tough match. You see your goal scorer right there. Jaden Cervania, the man who made the difference in that one, was in it throughout in a combative match from start to finish. Total of 12 shots for North Carolina. Knoxville got into it a little bit more in the second half, but really controlled very well by North Carolina in a lot of stages. Really proving to be good value for money after a big winter brought in a lot of good talent. This one wasn't the high-scoring affair we've seen earlier in the year for them. This was instead just a nice 1-0 win where they saw it out. Able to get that one done. Cervania gets that one to go. Well, we got some highlights for you in just a moment here on ESPN+. It's 1-0 after this one. Back in a moment.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Turned over, Karjai to put it away. Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising.
Back here, a 1-0 win. The Knoxville players looking on after a tough one at home. A good win, 1-0 for North Carolina on the road, able to get that one to go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the match and how we got to here with the 1-0 win here for North Carolina. We see early in the match an awkward one. Navarro hit his hand. They nearly had a shot on goal, but Johnson, a heavy touch, meant that he could not get the shot put on frame. Now here we saw Anderson with some brilliant footwork on the outside. Keeps that one in play. Cervania's shot scrapes in just enough on the 46th minute in the first half to get that one to edge in. We'll see it again here. Anderson had 3 guys around him. Benefits from a bit of a lucky touch, but the forward that he is never gives up, keeps it in play, and Cervania is the man who knocks it in to the back of the net. Now jumping in the second half, run Knoxville. Plans torn up, had to figure out what they were going to do in the second half. Could they turn things around? We see Jake Keegan, the man who makes things happen, puts that one off a defender, nearly goes in, but a brilliant stop by Holiday, the young prospect, managed to keep that one out. Keegan doing just enough to get past Fernandez, hits the foot of Navarro, and thankfully for the fans of North Carolina, the players, it hit the foot of Holiday in the net to keep it out from going in. And again, a few more opportunities very late on in the contest. This one's going to end up sitting up very nicely for Jake Keegan on his left foot, just drags it wide. Looks like it was in a great position to try and knock that one home if he was able to get it on frame. The final stats from the match here today, the most important one, obviously, North Carolina won Knoxville nil, 12 shots and a dead even 50% possession for both teams. 2 yellow cards as the match got a little bit more complicated and a bit more tight as things got later on in the contest, but North Carolina just about edges it, 1-0. A big win here for North Carolina puts them back on top of USL League One in what could be a great title race throughout the year with them and Charlotte Independence. 4-1 Knoxville. Next up for them is Northern Colorado Hailstorm, a team that's been on a very hot streak recently. A great one coming up next for them. As for North Carolina, it's Forward Madison next. But from here today, North Carolina 1 Knoxville 0 on ESPN+.
Broadcast or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League, League One.